Hammer time. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crosspollination, a show where we invite a few musical guests on or people within the music industry and just kind of talk about creativity, talk about shop, share our work, share our music. Today we have a sick show lined up for you. We've got some hip hop royalty, some amazing talent coming to you. We've got Monty Draper, out of the Bay Area, Oakland, California, whose output this year has been just amazing and staggering, and I'm excited to talk to him. We've got Oreo Jones and Sirius Black from Indianapolis, who album released today, Unconcerned, their first collaborative album, although they've been kind of collaborating and been part of each other's creative circles for years now, and have brought a lot of influence to the scene in the Midwest. And we also have Che Rhymefest Kwaku, who is a legend in hip hop, all the way from doing battles and winning Scribble Jam and lots of other battles, and defeating some of the best battlers in the country, including Eminem and a bunch of others, and also, an accomplished MC who's released a lot of work and collaborated with some of the best in the industry, and as well as an amazing writer whose pen has created such hits as Grammy-winning Jesus Walks, Oscar-winning Glory with Common. So we'll kind of talk to him and pick his brain about his whole process and kind of what hip-hop has done for him in his life. Let's go ahead and bring out our first guest, Monty Draper. Welcome, Monty, to Crosspollination.
TJ, what's up, bro? How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so glad you could join us.
Absolutely.
Man, seriously, the amount of time I've spent, like this year, I've been working on hella art. I've been in my studio working on art, and I've just played everything you've put out.
Dang,
you put it out, I'm listening to it, and it powers me, and it hits me in the middle of the night, and just the way that the music and the lyrics and the energy, the collaborative energy, the way it all comes together is just a beautiful thing.
Thank you, TJ. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So tell me about this year. What has 2020 been for you in terms of your creativity and your art?
Oh man, honestly, it just a real lesson in emotional and spiritual agility. We had so many plans. We're booked to do a few cities domestically, but everything was geared to spend the entire summer overseas. And obviously COVID hit and then that shut everything down, but so many resources had gone to just figuring it out. And we couldn't, a lot of the deposits, we couldn't get the whole thing back. So it was it was pretty staggering initially. And I remember just having this really dope conversation with my grandmother, and who just put everything into perspective, just about adversity. And it was yo, get back to the music. And fortunately enough, so much of the end of 19 was dedicated to just community and being in the studio, no matter who it was, not ever missing a session. And we had all this work and I continued to work in 20. So it was just a bunch of work that was already there.
Yeah.
And the world being at home, it kind of lended itself to artists such as ourselves. Not that everybody else doesn't care about what they're doing, but the amount of detail that we're putting in requires a different level of focus and listening and engagement as the storytellers across the board, from a film perspective, the visuals, and in the music. Excuse me. Sorry about that. From the music, and got real lucky in that regard, and just everybody being at home and being able to spend time with it, bro. So it was a real emphasis on the attention to detail. I was telling you and Matt before, just creating our own samples and then having access to musicians. It really lended to just really getting in there and building out different sounds and feelings more than anything, these worlds and pockets, and from people that do indie and prog and soul and funk and jazz, having access to all of them just lended to the space. 2020 just required a lot of just slowing down, attention to detail, and just a fight for real. and then fighting for creativity like this. The stages have closed, record shops have closed, studios are closing, and so nobody really caring about the industry. And then being in the Bay, it's tech, it's the tech hub, you know. So there's access to all this money and all these resources, and the creatives who drive it, you know, are being left behind. So there's a lot to really focus on and really dive into and something to fight for. That's just really what it's been for me.
Yeah, I think you've hit on something. I think that it gives you an extra leg up, which is your ability to collaborate, to build collaborations and relationships with people. And it doesn't seem like you have any kind of limit to your drive. One of my favorite things you put out this year was a collaboration with somebody from my hometown of Indianapolis, which, you know, I've been blessed to collaborate with a number of times, Miss Kate Lamont. So you guys put out a joint album this year, right?
Yeah, Concrete Violet, man, with our brother Noble, Kate Lamont, Salvatore Films did the visual direction, and myself, and that was one of the best experiences ever.
I love that I'm sorry, that the visual is part of the creative team that's going on there.
Because Sal is from the Midwest as well too. He's from right outside of Gary, if I'm not mistaken. And so his root, and to be honest, bro, like part of me wishes I was from the Midwest. Like just every time I meet somebody from there, like family from St. Louis and all the way up to Chicago and the D and all that, like just the soul in the I don't really know what the word is. Like y'all just move to a completely different beat in a world of its own and aren't really bound by any one sound, any one style. None of that. Like it's house influences. It's all different type of influences that you're allowed to pull from.
Yeah.
And so when Kate and I met, that was in maybe like 13. We had always talked about doing a record together, but wanting it to be right and wanting it to sound like a world unlike anything other. We listened to a whole bunch of Steely Dan and like just going there, you know. And so working on that record, we really made it a point to focus on structured songwriting and exploring as far as we could, and just providing a whole new space.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. Let's go ahead and take a listen. This is kind of like a trailer behind the scenes making of the Concrete Violet album, but let's check this out and we'll get a feel for you know, one of your collaborations. Oh, we need the sound. There we go.
Man, this is exciting.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
How'd that sound?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Still trying to keep mine. Bro, this was my, like, you know, you do your pregame mix? Literally all the way through college. This was in my mix. I'm not trying to do this. You just making magic over here?
Yeah, this is how it starts.
Suspended animation.
How did this project come about?
Damn, man, that's a long story. I'll try to talk fast. Shout out to Max Kane. Well, Flo and Max Kane. I met Flo, who introduced me to Max Kane. Max Kane gave me this beat. He was like, yo, I think you should do it. And immediately it spoke to me. I did it the same day. And when it got time to do the credits, he said, yo, my homie Noble co-wrote this with me. So we need to include him in the fold. And I was like, oh, dope. So out of respect, prior to putting out a song with someone that you haven't met before, you just reach out. And sometimes they don't even respond, but Noble just happened to respond, and we built our own relationship.
He had hit me up. We had been discussing stuff. He had hit me up to be on his podcast.
And reaching out like that was like an awesome experience because I got to kind of discuss our history in terms of where we're at as people, musicians, etc. So I got a good feel of who this person was through this podcast, through the conversations we were having. And that night, played him some music. He played me some of his music. I sent him some songs. Not expecting much. I was just like, maybe he'll listen to it, maybe he won't. I don't know where his head's at. I know he's working on projects. And he sent me back this song called Truth. And I was really honestly expecting just a straight rap song. I wasn't expecting like, I didn't know what to expect really. Just I was assuming some hip hop stuff. And he sent me this song. For the first minute and a half or something, I didn't even hear Monty. I was like, what's going on here? I didn't know it was like singing through the first half, and I was like blown away. And then Monty came in, and I was even more blown away. And I think like right after hearing that song, I definitely texted him. I was like, yo, man, let's do something. Like, let's do a project.
Was kind of just trying to figure out a plan of how I was gonna make that work. And shit, I think it's like either a day later or 2 days later, he texts me like, yo, I know you're busy, but it'd be dope if we did something together. And he sent some joints, and then the first one I heard, I thought about Kate. And
My most favorite things that I've ever worked on or done have been an environment for a writing session with a group of people like we're doing here. It's amazing to have like an OA space. It's really, really nice. And this place is incredible.
Yeah, I'd say an environment is really important in terms of like inspiration that it provides. If your comfort level's at 100%, then your music creation will be at 100%.
play that right out of that last break. Holy shit.
Blow my mind, put a line from the beach. Living in the hills, but she ready from the east. Wanna live from my lap, look nice, but big. Go, lean into my family. And that's so close. Look this shit, watch me let go. Go, lean into my.
Mr. Reynolds, you're muted. Oh yeah, man. I encourage everybody to check out Concrete Violet, spelled with a K, with two Ks in concrete, and the work that you're working on. We're going to keep you around and bring out our next guest to join us. We have coming out of Indianapolis, we've got Oreo Jones and Sirius Black, who have put out their first collaborative album today. It just dropped, so let's welcome them to Crosspollination. Hey, what's up, fellas? You almost look like you were in two different places with a split screen. No, you guys are in the same bubble. We got that.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good.
Nice. So today is the release day. How's it feel to have the work out into the world?
I feel like it's a relief. I feel like it's something we've been working on for a long time. A lot of rough drafts, and it's good to release it in the universe, you know?
Yeah. I mean, so both of you are like established kind of solo artists, but you've done a lot of collaborations, kind of been in the same crew for a number of years. So is there something that happens that's different when you get together than when you're solo or with other artists?
Yeah, I would say so. I think like OJ and I like kind of always operated on the same wavelength in a lot of different ways. When I was like cutting my teeth in Indianapolis and coming up, like, you know, he was like one of the cats I looked up to, you know. So like we kind of always vibed in that sense. You know, I think it shows in the music for sure. Yeah.
So what was the process of this collaboration? Like, when did kind of this particular album start, and how did it come to be?
So we started working on it probably around 2015, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we pretty much wrote like a whole entire record and then sat on it for a minute and revisited it. And we're like, nah. So we essentially wrote 2 albums in total, and like some of them didn't age right. There's one that made the cut, but we started the second wave of tackling the project right around the middle to end of February. So like right before, the shutdown and the pandemic. So, and that kind of like put like a weird, aura into the universe as far as like not essentially a bad omen of releasing this thing, but it definitely was like a weird deterrent because we're used to just playing out live all the time and trying to, especially with a project, releasing a project and hitting the road and trying to showcase it. So yeah,
it was a long process. We started, like you said, we started recording 5 years ago. We recorded a record, and eventually we had waited to put those songs out for so long that by the time it was time to put them out, we just realized, we were kind of past that point. So we decided to scratch that and start fresh. And I'm really proud of what we came out with.
Yeah. And it's just like it's a different atmosphere. So things, they either like, it seems like stuff we've done before, it either is like premonition and it takes on a whole new meaning, or it's just like, that just doesn't fit with what's happening right now. It's like one of the two, it seems like.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's go. Let's play some music. I think let's start off with one of your earlier collaborations, and this is a video that I just really love. It's got this kind of like dark twist to it, and it just kind of fits in with you guys' vibe. But this is a Tribe Quest, so we'll check out an earlier collaboration from Oreo Jones and Sirius Black that was kind of a little seed of what we've gotten today.
Tribe. Just another rain dance, black kid smoking in the backyard, blazed out, playing with matches. Hanging with the same damn misfits who be trying to act hard, they be staking out with the cash. Pigs in the blanket with the blocks to fall. Lately we just waiting for some options though. Lately we just waiting for the cops to show. Lately we just waiting for the crops to grow, but fuck that. Niggas can't stand it, we just eating what we planted from the garden. When it hard, then we gon' strip it from the road. Burning down trees, smoking that forbidden fruit. The descendant of the truth, and I'm living fucking proof. Just a wolf that evolved from a lion and bird. In the concrete ocean, we been dying of thirst. And even when I'm gone, I won't die in a hearse. Cause you gon' have to make a motherfucker lion first. Boy, I just want breath from my niggas. I just want breath from my mother. I just got love for my sisters. I just got love for my brother. Ghost Town Collective, my nigga, Indiana, we coming up, yeah, we coming. Niggas thinking that we fucking around, but I swear we bout kill the whole summer. Verse of the course, whether the street or the force, really though, I'm just trying to take it all in. Clock strike 2 in the morning, I've been seducing a Taurus with bullshit and she gon' take it all in. Baby got brain, make a nigga head spin. Really though, I'm trying to dial down the misogyny. But that's gon' bob and the bob gon' flow. For that shit, I ain't issuing out no apology. Get used to it, you gon' be hearing a lot of it. Building up a new foundation in the colony. In Afghanistan, we becoming a commodity. You're fighting for equality and burning down a prophecy. Fuck 'em. You don't even deserve to let your nuts hang. Tuck 'em like a gun in the way. She wanna come to the base, and I'm running in place, and I'm repeating myself, and I'm numb to the taste. Like what?
Rolling on the circle, you can feel it inside. Kicked in my visual, so I can see the pulse of the lights. I think I might be on a mission. By the end of the night, we disregard the design. Disregard your design, cause I'm just chilling with my tribe.
Goddamn.
Questioning the signs.
Oh yeah.
Chilling with my tribe.
Goddamn.
Questioning the signs.
Oh yeah.
Mobbing with my niggas. We been getting high.
Yeah.
Better grab a wetsuit, I'm a blackfish. Nigga push waves, I'm flying, I'm free willy. Pop on a fold out couch, so silly. Nigga from the middle of the map, so illy. Popping $10 champagne for the whole team, cause we living out a marvelous dream. Nigga inching it good, I'm blowing out steam. At the Morse Family Dollar, nigga counting on my cream. See the skyline gleam from the sunset. Feel the interstate, air through my window. Seeing my home girl having fun yet. Sitting shotgun, rolling up the endo. Breaking my leg at that baseline. Pouring up milk at the podium. Top Hold on ahead during FaceTime. Fucking the world and we never gonna stop. Bible Belt, baby, renegade in the high life. I'm coming up on the buzz, I'm ready for my time. Cause in my city they scream and shout up in the clouds. I'm King Cooper, I'm snatching up all the pros. Sweat hot American summer, that better told you. Let me more on the wheel, my nigga better mold you. Fountain Square Larry in the backdrop. Keys to the rack top, fresh Prince fade with a flat top. Blow a kiss to the moonlight, higher than a Georgia pine. In the concrete jungle flex, baby, know the world is mine. And the nigga gotta have it. Pull a Columbine on the space for a mattress. Speaking in tongues to a Pentecostal ratchet. I've had it. Afghanistan on the Atlas.
Rolling on the circle, you can feel it inside. Kicked in my visual so I can see the pulse of the light. I think I might be on a mission by the end of the night. We disregard the design. Disregard your design, cause I'm just chilling with my tribe.
Goddamn.
Questioning the signs.
Ooh, yeah.
Chilling with my tribe.
Goddamn.
Questioning the signs.
Ooh, yeah.
Mopping with my niggas. We been getting high.
Yeah.
We gon' start it, somebody. We gon' start it. We gon' start it, somebody. We gon' start it. We gon' start it, somebody. We gon' start it. We gon' start it. We gon' start it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Let's bring back some memories of that one.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since I feel like I watched that video. So.
What year was that?
Sounds like probably
That
around
was 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. And then DMA, who did he produce that track as well?
He did like co-produce at the end.
He co-produced at the end. It was produced by a producer named Bones of Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and he's on the new project as well, right?
Yeah, he is. He
Mm-hmm.
is. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So what I want to talk about is like in Indianapolis, like you guys have created a hip hop festival there that's been like really hugely successful. Treese. Yeah. So this year it didn't get to happen, unfortunately, but this would have been what, the fourth year?
It would have been the sixth year.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. And to see it grow like each year. So tell me about that. What it's like, just the general kind of setting this, being part of creating the scene. It seems like you guys in Indianapolis, and I know maybe that's part of why people from the Midwest, have a certain vibe, but it's like, if you want something to happen, you have to make it happen. So tell me about like, kind of like what Treese has meant kind of to you and the scene in Indianapolis.
I think it's definitely created a kind of ripple effect with the hip hop culture here in the city. Black and I, we come from the DIY scene. Like we cut our teeth on like punk and hardcore and stuff when we were younger. So I feel like that culture and that DNA kind of translated to our approach with hip hop.
And I mean, those are in hip hop and punk rock in the same, like the attitude and the DIY mentality, is like come from the same space. It's like there are no bells and whistles. You have to you find inspiration by pulling it out of the dirt. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and to piggyback off what he was saying, in TJ, I feel like you're familiar with the city and just the perception on even trying to curate or program shows in spaces around the city back earlier was kind of a difficult, non-existent thing. It's some, far-fetched idea with hip hop and, in these public spaces. So, finding the avenue through, Fountain Square was a very kind of lightning in the bottle moment to where this neighborhood began to flourish. And there's a lot of artists all over, from like garage rock, psych, visual artists. And it felt like there was just like blocks of people living in this community. So that definitely was like a catalyst to starting the festival. And I felt like it made it a lot more accessible. And, we started from nothing, literally nothing. And it's, evolved significantly, like over the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's grown a lot. And it's been dope to see, like I play, when it comes to the festival and putting everything together, I play my role and I help out where I can, whether it be like artists or lugging trash, like I try to figure out where I'm at. But I think like the dope part about Treese to me, the dopest part about Treese to me is like he said, it started in a neighborhood that was already in the process of being revitalized. It was in the middle of what you want to call gentrification, and you had a lot of marginalized artists or artists in general who were working at these restaurants or in these boutiques or in these new shops, but like they can barely afford to live there. It's like the people that were creating and cultivating the culture were being pushed out. I mean, I think, Manny, you touched on that earlier. I think, and it's like we're working at these restaurants. We're cultivating the culture by being artists and bringing in money and new faces to these businesses, but slowly getting pushed out. It's like I can work at this restaurant, but I can't afford the $50 steak on the menu. While I'm also cultivating the culture within it that's bringing in revenue. So it's like Treese was a way for us to hold space. It was a way for us, amidst gentrification, amidst being pushed out, being able to take the connections and the resources that we had built up by being pillars in the neighborhood and using that in our favor and saying, all right, well, this is where the festival is going to be at. We have all these connections in these venues. One day a year, you're going to have 2,000 Black people walking around this mainly white neighborhood. We've never had one arrest. We've never had like one issue with the police. Like they can't say shit. They can't do anything. We're bringing revenue and we're bringing new business. There's no bullshit. Well, and people are and it's building the culture. And like for me, like it's just been a way for us to hold space and say, no, we're not going anywhere. We earned our right to be here, and this is where the fuck we're gonna stay.
Yeah. And I mean, like I would say it's a similar thing happening in San Francisco, but maybe to a different scale.
Oh, bro,
in Oakland,
it's sick here because it's like some of the wealthiest people in the world live here. Like, no exaggeration. But when you look out, like directly outside some of those buildings that occupy the Twitters and the Pandoras and the Ubers and the Lyfts, like all of those companies are here, and they literally step over the unhoused. You feel what I'm saying? And so, and then the artists, the middle class is gone, so the artists predominantly land on that, under the poverty line, and are just figuring it out. And to Sirius's point, like all the culture, the people are moving here because of the artists are creating that, and the artists can't afford it. The venues, the people who own the venues, they damn near can't keep the doors open. You know what I'm saying? So it has been just this really dope renaissance of like, yo, come together, we can sustain it together, we can maintain ownership of our studios. If we do partnership, we can maintain ownership of some of these creative hubs, and I love that term, holding space, bro, because it really is the name of it, you know. It embodies so many different things, you know. So that's, man, salute to y'all, bro. That's amazing.
Appreciate you, man, for real, man. Salute to you as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're like, you know, we're in Indiana. Like, there's some whole other beasts out there where y'all at. So,
I think that brings me to another point. Is it seems like when people first get into hip hop and rap, and then as they evolve in the art, and if you stick around long enough, you know, and get, you know, start to master the craft, your definition of what is success changes. How has your definition of what is success changed as you guys have been in the game? Let's start with money.
Oh man, y'all probably gonna laugh at me, bro. I started, you know, because it's funny. My dad, his best friend was Master P's first DJ. So the cars, the chains, the teeth, the house, like that forever, bro. That was success. And then all the dope boys around here, like the crap, like that's what you saw, and you like, oh, that's gotta be what success is. And then thank God, hip hop is what 48 now, or whatever, 46 or whatever, and so the top tier guys have aged, and so now some of them are dads and husbands and all the stuff that you never would have associated with success in hip hop when the quote unquote golden era, you know. So now it really is just using hip hop as a curriculum to save the youth, bro. Because like without that, like especially seeing the like, for example, the learning at home on Zoom and shit, like I wouldn't have made it, bro. Like I struggled in class, so
yeah,
man, and it's heartbreaking to watch some of the kids who learn differently, you know, whether it be tactile, auditory, like there's so many different ways of learning. And so to continue to shrink it down even further and go, yo, this is the way you got to do it. If hip hop hasn't taught us anything, it's like it's all encompassing and welcomes anybody. So just been trying to develop a curriculum as a means for both economic growth, our education system, and not segregate those as much as they have been, because when they speak about it on Capitol Hill and anywhere else, they get lumped together. You know, it's all money. So for us to not speak of it like that, and you know, on the ground level, is just ridiculous. So now, like success to me means cracking that code, and I don't want to pretend as if close, but what we're seeing is like the community aspect and the community approach. It gives us so much more strength, so much more power, and so much like the access to the resources feel unlimited. You know, I'm just talking about here, but as we do stuff like this, man, it's only going to go further. And with like-minded, with a like-minded approach and a goal of just protecting and growing what's ours. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't have to outsource so many things. So really it's retaining the ownership, and it's just growing wealth for me now as far as what it's become over time. And it's changed significantly. You know?
Yeah. Same thing for Oreo and Sirius. Like, how has your definition of success changed over time?
I feel like it's changed so much. Obviously, as I've gotten older and as I've developed who I am as an artist, I find I've made sense of the world through being an artist. You know, it's like how I throw it back and it comes back, and that's how like I figure out like just shit about the world, how the world works to me. Like through that, like as I've gotten older, like all of the things that used to matter just don't anymore. You know, like I have a 5-year-old, daughter. Obviously that 180'd everything and kind of put everything into perspective in so many other different ways. Now that I'm older and I understand who I am as an artist, I feel like now that I'm in my community, I've built up relationships with people and businesses in my community. Like I realize how much what we do and what we give to where our neighborhoods and our communities, like how much that is worth, and again, like how low artists are on the totem pole. You know, when it comes to the culture that they provide and cultivate in the neighborhoods, that in return trickle, you know, make the machine move, you know. So I mean, that's kind of been my main focus at the moment. I want to make the best music as possible, and push myself in ways that I haven't, you know, musically, and through that, I believe in law of attraction. I know that as long as I'm focused and in the right headspace, like all of the things that I want are they're on the way. But for right now, like it's work to be done, you know. So
cool. Yeah. Thank you. Same thing, Oreo. What you?
Yeah, I you know, everyone has their own definition and their own measurement tools, you know, but it's kind of just what piggyback on what everyone else says, you know. It definitely has evolved over the years, and as you get older, you definitely, you see what is more valuable, and you know, right now it definitely is the connectivity with everyone, and you see how valuable the resources you have, and to use them in a positive way. You know, it used to be, you know, when we were younger, even cutting our teeth here in the city, I feel like it was just like every man for themselves, and it was just like straight up just, you know, beast mode. Let's be, you know, whoever, I don't give a fuck about anyone else, like let's get it. But now you see how so important it is, even with the younger generation too, taking, you know, cats under your wing and you know, kind of just giving them the tools to, you know, to succeed. And you know, it'd be a thing where you'd reach out and be like, how do I book a tour? And you know, everyone would just like tuck their books away, you know. But you know, it's like, yo, we're having work. Let's make a workshop right now, and like we'll literally plot this shit out for you. Like
exactly,
you know?
yeah. It's like the more when you have to plant seeds for you know, to have fruit, and you don't want it to all come from, you know, your garden either.
We're all in the same, you know, community. We're all in the same ship. And you don't want this to sink. You want people to thrive, and you want the evolution to happen. It's so important.
Yeah, and I think like collaboration is a big part of that.
Yeah.
I think like the pandemic has played such a large role in like making artists find new ways to stay connected or feel connected, but also like it's changed, like, you know, for me, just the way I have to collaborate, you know, it's made me want to collaborate more, you know, in different ways. So I think like, planting those seeds, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you know, let's cut to a little more music. I'd like to play another one from Monty. What else do you have for us lined up? What do we put on right now?
Man, salute to the whole fam. Grand National. Within Grand National is another faction, part of a crew, East Shore Highway. We released a record in October, and the first two singles, man, have been getting crazy plays. It's the most humbling shit in the world, bro. Because it's when you, again, all these records are just specific to the energy and the vibe, man. And so this is East Shore Highway, Bohannon.
Okay, let's check it out. Take Matt. There we go. All right.
Look, got Taka in my veins, word to bumpy face. Wells Fargo for the taxes, dirty money chase. White girl in the speaker box, yeah, we segregate. Scarface was my lullaby, this won't resonate. Brad Jordan, baseline, destroyed this whole house. Amsterdam, but the catfish imported. 97 Civic just to keep a nigga humble. Fishbowl through the toe, they don't really love you. A pistol in the Louis told me keep the muzzle. On our Queen and Slim, it was worth the trouble. Holy water that chased up a nay-ho. No discussion, there's no lawyers on your payroll. I'm tacking up the rental through Diego. Full clip for the drip, 30 peso. Negro, all black, everything block calls from my dog. Sorry, no, can't let her bring 101 from the slums. You can't tell me, need a Kelly Rowland, work too hard to be betting on destiny. So, fake the fly, sanctified, in case your favorite rapper couldn't stand and crack the code this time. Go.
Everywhere, talking about happiness. Everywhere, talking about happiness. Everywhere, talking about happiness. Everywhere.
I'm AI stepping over Lou. The answer with neck braids you already knew. By the time y'all catch up, I'm already through. Allow the intro. Nigga, my name Deuce. I came to rap, we pro-black, but perm leave-in. Collection plate for the building fund the church believe in. Cops kill us, ain't never needed a reason. If it's not IKEA, just stay away from Sweden. We lose faith, they praying that feeling really seep in. Keep a section, plenty sanctions, we never even. Black women hit black men, think she don't need them. They gassed up, can't see the light, they need a beacon. We can't dream, too worried about eating. Many homeless, I wish I had enough to feed them. The books know it, but that ain't in the hood teaching. The red line is seem cool until you read between it. Watch hazards, sand traps in San Diego. Bobby Johnson in warehouse, the baked potato. Solid dude, no solvent, these niggas Play-Doh. Drop the classic, but new shit is on the way though. For real.
Everywhere, talking about happiness. Everywhere, talking about happiness. Everywhere, talking about happiness. Everywhere.
So dope, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
That was great. For real.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. That's a vibe. You just see that, man, and you're just like, I just have to be down with this crew. This is my people right here, you know.
Oh man. Yeah, no, let's salute Brookfield Deuce and DJ D Sharp, incredible MC Brookfield Deuce, and then DJ D Sharp is the Golden State Warriors DJ, and this is his first project as an artist. So it's an honor, bro. Like I still just kind of look at him because he's famous from where we're from. So it's like the fact that it's his first record, he's getting all these looks, and it's like, damn, man, it's that easy. But people were excited for him to drop music, so it's really dope to be attached to it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's got to be good, you know, and that's what it is. We're gonna bring out our last guest. This is a person whose experience in just about every aspect of hip hop is super deep. Let's bring out Che Rhymefest Kwaku to join us.
Yo, what up?
Yo, Che, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for having me, man. That record was fresh. That last record was sick.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us, man. Where you calling from?
I'm in my prayer room right now. You know, I'm gonna tell you, like, one of the things I believe, especially as creatives, wherever you live, we should see you expressing yourself from the inside out. It should be your church. It should be your temple. It should be your creative, like however you express yourself, your house is where it begins.
Yes,
and so, like, you know, it's troubling to me when I meet artists who don't like being at their house. It make me not able to trust them. You know what I mean? It's problematic. So yeah, I'm in my prayer room.
I mean, especially now where, you know, our house is our world, you know. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but what has 2020 and the pandemic meant for you and your work and your creativity?
Yo, you know what's crazy about it? Number one, you know how everybody's being told social distance, go inside. I really look at that as solitude. So what some people may look at distance, I look at as 2020 was telling us, go inside, go inside. You know, a lot of things we do from the outside in. This was a chance to get off of the wheel of trying to be in the industry and go from the inside out. This was the time where you didn't have to be like, all right, who dropping the album in the fourth quarter? And yo, we think so mechanically, bro. We think so business about something that's so magical. You know what I'm saying? And we take the magic away with the capitalism of it all. We can't even think about hip hop without thinking about, well, who gonna follow you? How many streams you gonna get? How many, bro? What the hell does that have to do with the gift that God is giving you? So would you not do it if it was no streams? Would you not do it if it wasn't no, you know, something to get from it? One of the things I love about that last video is that everybody in the video looked like they knew each other. They all look like family. They look like they was having a good time, whether or whether not. That was about the village getting together. You know what I mean? And then even the sample was from the ancestors, bro. It had a whole vibe to it. And in the time where we need to be spiritually resurrecting and having evolutions. So like one of the things I see in the pandemic, and I'm sorry for talking too long, but I see solitude. But the other thing is, I think we're coming to the end of it. And you know, it's always the workout is always harder right before it's over. And so right now we in a time of trial. Everybody I know is under pressure. People are dying, transitioning, things are happening you can't get to or be around you. We even seeing who our real family is right now in crazy ways. Like, you know who's frauding for PPE and who ain't. You know who being righteous and who ain't. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know who trying against the odds and who ain't. And I think this is a time of trial where everybody, including ourselves, is up on the altar for judgment. And it'll be shown soon, bro.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I want to share a little bit.
Does that make sense?
Say what?
Does that make sense to you?
More than you know, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we went in and now we being judged. Or tested.
Yeah. Let's listen to a little bit of music from you, because you know you've mastered kind of being behind the scenes and working with people and crafting songs for a lot of the most successful artists in the game, but you are also able to hold your own and collaborate and bring out your personality, when you work with other people. So I want to go to this collaboration you did with DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yeah. We're let's play that and then we'll come back to.
Jazz fest in Montrose, riding up mountains and make your mind blow. Real fine girl with a real nice combo. Runaway moon, baby, where'd the time go?
Workout Nazi, yoga Tachi, Layla Ali, I let her box me. Lion Cougar, girl, you foxy. Indonesia, we head to Bali.
When the sun rises, it looks so godly. Back in Chi-Town, I could not see so much danger. Blackstone Rangers, politicians is causing anger.
All my hang-ups had to hang up. How can I fly when the wing is banged up?
Who had 36 in the chamber? I only got one, but I'm a real good aimer. Blah.
I got to escape some way somehow. I feel so trapped inside this town. Got an open road and a list of goals.
Passport unfold, we headed to Moscow. Vegas ain't far enough away. Hey, you're not gonna find love in LA. And Miami is the place we go to play. With the Cuban, I finally connect with Jay.
Motorcycle ride out and fly out. Partying in Perth is the perfect hideout. Wish I could bring that back to my house.
Then I could get my cousin off of my couch. Show him what it's like on the beach in Phuket. Feet in the sand, don't get your shoes wet. Island,
Thailand, shorts and crew necks.
next mile we lounge in salmon crew cats. Oh,
that's sushi in Tokyo.
Shot of the sake before we go.
South Korea, they got soul. South Korea, they got soul. With the
fellas up in the favelas.
Just like Compton, gotta watch your colors.
Street vendors is always trying to sell us. Cop one for one, the other get jealous.
Got 2 for 1, that's a hell of a deal. Went to Milan and had a hell of a meal. Met a hell of a girl in hot yellow heels.
She was hella hot, but she popped hella pills. Skill, I can bring you back to the Philadelphia. Oh, you don't want to go? Do you hear yourself?
Are you arrogant? Do you feel yourself?
Are you scared of the world? Do you fear yourself? I'm flying out
the Mount Zion.
Caves in Ghana, God, I start crying.
They can't chain me down, I'm defiant.
Been around the world and now I know who I am. I've been on the road so much this year.
I ain't have time to cut my hair.
Living out of bag the same old gear, but I got to get out and clear my head. Space, time and place, you can have it all with the time it takes.
14 hours to leave the states.
Eating steaks on nice estates. Holy Batman, bathing apes.
Naples wine had the finest grapes.
Main course meals on designer plates. Look, say something, nigga, I'll slap your face.
I'm a traveling man, I'm a traveling man. You can do it too for a couple of grand.
Instead of spinning racks on a strip of the dance, you can spin a rack on a trip to Japan. Shit, that's all I'm saying. I'm just in the world doing all I can.
Even though I ain't Mexican, I still wear the sombrero and the salsa pants. It's a party in here,
it's a girl out there. If you in here, it's a world out there. Now get ready for the world premiere.
Wow. Yeah, we shot that. We shot that over 5 different countries, throughout 5 different countries.
Wow. That's the way to use the budget right there, man.
But you know what it is? Bro, I'm telling you, you could do mad stuff without a budget.
I've never had a budget, so I know.
Yeah, bro, man, it wasn't even no budget. That was guerrilla. You know what I'm saying? You know, like tomorrow, I'm on my way to Mexico tomorrow to go sit with a shaman. And you know, like I said, man, like for me, what creates music is experiences. And it's crazy how people stay in the hood or stay in their little box and don't have no experience and then say they got the best music. How could that be? You ain't been nowhere. You ain't seen nothing. You not curious. Like curiosity is the true sign of genius. That's how I know somebody who's stupid, because they willfully ignorant.
Definitely.
They're not curious.
I mean, I have a few more questions, but is there anything?
Whatever you want to talk about, bro, we open. Everybody, this is a whole conversation. Like whatever anybody want to talk about.
Yeah.
You freeze.
No, we're just.
It look like everybody froze for a minute.
Uncomfortable silence in there. So what is you know? Tell me about. To me, hip hop is an emotional music, you know, and it doesn't necessarily. It could be braggadocious stuff, and it still has an emotional core. Tell me, like, what is hip hop in your life? Like, what has it been, and what is purpose is it serving for you now?
Hip hop is the best and the worst thing that ever happened to the world. You know what I mean? Like, on one hand, what you want to hear first, the best or the worst?
Let's hear the best, then the worst.
Hip hop is the only language that has gone around the world as fast as it has, and everybody in the world speaks the language of our fashion, of our murals, our art, our visual art. Yo, you could go somewhere. You can go to Russia. I've been to Macedonia and Russia. I've been to China and Colombia and heard people rap in Spanish, and you know if they good. You know if they hitting them cadences. You know what they talking about. You know what the vibration is, and you might not even know the language. That's what I mean by it's the language that the world speaks, that everybody knows. Like, bro, do you understand? No language in history has done that. No language in history everybody knew at one time other than English and hip hop. And more people know hip hop than English in terms of its whole culture. So I found that, bro, I could go in any hood in the world, and because I speak hip hop, I could get along with anybody, get in anybody crib, and be chilling, smoking a joint with anybody, anywhere in the world. That's how powerful, and the fact that hip hop took me around the world, takes me around the world. Like, yo, most incredible art of it's an alien communication.
Yeah. It's also the more you give to it, the more it gives to you. You know?
Well, that's anything. Like, what ain't like that? But yes, but also in that vein, hip hop also taught a lot of black men to be ignorant. It taught us the wrong way to treat a woman, to talk to a woman. It taught us against our own daughters and our own mothers. Hip hop gave us some information about society that wasn't always the way to be the best kind of person you could be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hip hop taught us about guns, wrong, all wrong. It taught us to point them at each other. It told us to point them at each other. It didn't even teach us about guns. It just said, hey, that's a murder weapon.
Yeah.
Well, really, it could be a weapon. I mean, it could be a tool, you know what I'm saying? Used to hunt and gather. You know what I mean? But hip hop also lets me know that as great as something is, it is equally as deadly or ignorant. Like, you can't have nothing that's good without an equal amount of bad. You can have the baddest chick ever, but guess what come with that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can have a chick somebody think is unattractive, but guess what come with that? She probably the best wife you'd ever want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying with ebb there is flow. With yin there is yang. As great as we could talk about hip hop is as deadly, toxic, and poisonous. I mean, when my daughter asked me about WAP, and my daughter's 12, and I gotta say what? Wet ass pussy? And she say, Daddy, don't say that. And I say, why not? Why are we acronyming it? Why can't we just say what it is if that's what you mean? You know what I'm saying? And now, but it allowed me and my 12-year-old to have a conversation, you know what I'm saying, about the appropriateness or inappropriateness of how we aim our music at each other.
I feel that. Well, speaking of hip hop,
before we keep going, I just want to know if I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Let's have a conversation.
You're just speaking your truth. You can't be wrong if you're speaking the truth.
Yeah, but I'm speaking my truth. But to that point, bro, we all live and we all see the world from a slightly different reality. And I think the point of community is trying to figure out if we can like align our world that we see, our view through like how we speak about it. So like how I see hip hop may not be how you see hip hop, but how you see it may help us get to a better.
That was gonna be my point too. Right before you got on, we was just talking about getting to watch the genre age, and so there's that middle part. There's a golden era, but then there's now where whomever ran the golden era some of them cats went through a whole transformation and learned some different shit, and they're talking completely different. And when have we ever gotten that much terrain as black men to grow, to evolve, and to teach, for example? You know what I'm saying? So it really is. That's why I ain't said nothing, and I imagine OJ and Sirius too, just listening, because it's like, absolutely, the big homie is here speaking. It's like, bro, shut up.
Real talk, I'm keeping game.
Yes,
and we could talk about like some of the big songs and how they're made, and how to like, if that's what you want to do, is like make the type of songs that have impact. And I'd rather say that than like brand or selling songs. If you want to make music that has impact, we could talk about like, for us, it was just a thing of the biggest songs never took long to write because they're inspiration.
Yeah.
And sometimes we stop our inspiration with the thoughts in our minds that are tangled. Man, are chicks gonna like this? What kind of song? Who's the audience for this? See, all of that is brand talk.
Yeah.
And brand talk will stop greatness from coming through.
I mean, yeah, and I'm sure maybe there was that moment you listened to that choir and you heard Jesus Walks in that, you know, and that wasn't what people were talking about at the time, you know.
Jesus Walks kind of wrote itself though. It's like, you know, if you listen to the original song, it's all there. All we had to do was the rap. But one of the things Kanye taught me, you know, of course the song was gonna be Jesus Walks, and we had the chorus and the bridge and the sample, and Kanye put them ill-ass drums on it. But one of the things he taught me rap-wise was, you know, I started off like John 13, the Bibles, all this stuff. And he was like, nah, bro. He was like, you know, we have to be the sin. The verse is the sin. My mama used to say only a car full of Coke rental truck from Avis. My mama used to say only Jesus could save us. That type of stuff, that's what we going through. That's the sin. And the chorus is the reprieve. That's the angels. That's God's mercy. You know what I'm saying? And so now in the verse you can put the pain, but in the chorus put the mercy. And one of the things that I learned from Jesus Walks about songwriting is that choruses that are violent or choruses that are real, like get him, get him, get him, get him, like it's hard for me. That was MOP, by the way. That was my you know, I think choruses should be when the sunshine comes out.
The tension and release.
It should give you a break from whatever you're going through in the verse to have dynamic.
Do you find as the more you write, and this is a question for everybody in hip hop, that you get more critical of yourself? Like it gets harder. You don't want to repeat rhymes that you've ever heard before. You want to be able to make every single line like count. How has writing changed for you? The process of writing.
Oh man! All right. Well, let me spit a rap and then I'll tell you about it.
All right.
All right. No matter cotton gin, television, or computer, people that been affected from the past to the future. Muhammad was a prophet, Mansa Musa was a ruler, Jesus Christ was the king, and Jacob was his jeweler. I don't know why I get deja vus of Cuba, watching Havana burning my beret with a Ruger. I dreamt I was a first-person shooter in a country where the president was Lex Luthor, trying to prevent your man from being super. I'm Joe Exotic with a dozen cougars, walking with Panthers while I'm wearing and hip hop, I was a late bloomer. I couldn't think like a consumer that wanted goons, coons, and cartoons. I'm trying to study alchemist theories and dark moons. My soul gets lit up with the words of my heart bloom. The money, ego, and business blew it apart. Boom! Pick up the pieces, let's resume. The soil is rich, but you got banks to put your wealth in. Only species makes gas chambers to put ourselves in. Packed ships with slaves shelved in, that was held in. Prophets warned the end was near, but couldn't tell when. Hard heads caught it in a tail end. Economy crash for a tailspin. Fairy tales end. Fast forward. Through corruption, famine, and war, or pandemic, we are the virus we've been waiting for. So, the process is like, for me, it's like, you know, when we wrote Glory, me and Common sat and we prayed. And we asked Fannie Lou Hamer, we asked Mike Brown, we asked Dr. King, we asked Medgar Evers, and a couple more ancestors to tell us their story. And we sat on the phone, we prayed longer than we wrote the song. We like asked them to tell their stories through us. And we said, like, you know, as we get ready to go into the song, and Common the one to say, he said, let's pray. And then I said the prayer, and we talked about, like, you know, whatever your unfinished story was, please let us say it and we will give you the credit. It's not ours, it's yours. We're just gonna be the portal. Bro, we wrote Glory in an hour and won an Oscar. The ancestors showed out, bro. Bro, and a lot of times, think about it, with music, we always giving ourselves. It's so egocentric, right? That, but imagine what would happen if before you wrote a song, you prayed about it. Or you, I mean, if you, and I ain't no big Jesus guy, or like, you know, even Muslim guy, but I give respect to the energy that's out there, and I ask that energy. I know music is energy, so I give honor to the energy and ask the energy to guide me through it. And bro, in that, the energy is like, are you willing to do it even if your face ain't on it? Where's your humility?
Yeah.
You know, like being a writer, bro, how much humility you have to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you look at these guys back in the day where Bootsy Collins was playing in James Brown band. And you know, when you look at Bootsy, he real charismatic. But he had to be in his part with James Brown. You
But
know?
in a diaper.
No, but think about that. The real him was gonna bust out one day, but he had to give his all to something else. Or you look at Raheem Devon and what's my other man name to sing Charlene?
Anthony Hamilton.
Anthony Hamilton. They singing background for D'Angelo for years. And we know they cold. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I look at it like, I think sometimes what the industry has done is broken up the camaraderie and the humility.
Yeah.
And social media has done that too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of humility and working with somebody, I remember, Che, when you did Battle of the Bands at the Vogue, and you did Jesus Walks before it was even out, but you had me and a bunch of friends. We backed you up on African drums, but you had us take off our shirts and put on a bunch of war paint and shit. That was the humbling experience, right?
Yo, can I say something real quick? So my buddy just texted me. Is everybody here from Nap?
Yeah, we Nap right here. Just
All right.
From the back. Yeah.
All right. Well, in Naptown, a giant just
we just heard Jones.
We heard right before we got on the
what's that?
On the horn.
Yeah. So Indiana Jones was my first manager. And I'm coming from Chicago. I never even had a manager. And he in Naptown, it was interesting because a lot of people in Indianapolis be like, man, you can't get on from Indianapolis. You got to like go to a big city or, you know, to be heard. And Indiana Jones introduced me to a guy named Mark Ronson, who, you know, works with, what's the Uptown Funky Up guy? What's his name?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars, yeah. And he works with Bruno Mars now. And
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Mark Ronson, he lit.
Yeah. When he did Amy Winehouse,
Winehouse.
And DJ Indiana Jones was a mentor to me, and he was a brother to me. And I love him.
What's the news? What's happening?
DJ Indiana Jones transition tonight.
Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, you know, my thing is, you know, he was so close to me in my life. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. I never thought I could be that close with a white person. He changed. Indiana Jones was the beginning of my evolution and how I felt about race. Because I was really like, nah. And like, you know, me and him, he went through some experiences with me in music that showed me that like race ain't nothing but a social construct. And it goes, you know, a lot of times, hey, let me tell y'all something I learned about race traveling around the world, something I learned about anti-blackness. It's only who the oppressor is oppressing that they want. So for example, when I'm in Australia and somebody say something crazy to me and I turn around and say, excuse me, and they hear my American accent, oh, you thought I was Aboriginal. You know, they turn their whole thing around. It's American. Now, it started because I'm black, but when they realized I wasn't the black that they were oppressing, Then it turned around. Have you ever wondered why you don't hear about a lot of Jamaicans and Africans getting shot by the police in America? Because they're looking for niggas, like they're looking for Africans.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever think about this? When I go to France and somebody says something nutty to me, and excuse me, and I'm American, oh, now I'm a hero. But when you thought I was African or West Indian, see, that's oppressive.
Yeah.
Like race is only by like the social construct of who they oppressing that is that color. So if you know that, you can really transcend that shit with the information by not being ignorant.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. So I enjoyed that acapella that you dropped. I'm wondering, could we get like, do you have a 16, maybe Oreo and Sirius, you would each like to drop? Amani, do you have a 16 that you would like to drop? Just a little acapella, just to let us hear your pen technique a little bit.
How are we doing it?
Let's start off with the purple down in the bottom corner here. You guys want to drop a little something? Just let us.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
No pressure, I love.
Losing faith, you gotta earn your stripe. Ain't no free passes. Living in the fifth dimension, wearing 4D glasses. Trying to catch up with my shadow in a race for my soul. Watching mama find my body in the tank full of gold. Terrain gon' change, but mama raised me patient and bold. Granted, nothing was handed, branded, we ain't able to fold. Ancestors aching for retribution. Think we might get it for them, fighting to keep it going. I must have been misinformed. Kama Sutra, fuck the world, just like I'm in a porn. Saw the future, my nigga riding up in a fucking foreign, I believe it. Sleeping on the arm of the clock, ain't crabs in a bucket, but all my niggas clawed at the top. Better get there where they at. Said you got an army, show me where they at. Black Marty McFly with Doc, my nigga made it back. Eyes on the tree of life, two wings of the same bird. I'm looking through the eagle's eye. You don't want to see the light.
Sheesh.
Nice.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, keep it going, Oreo.
I'm sounding just like an insomnia. I never sleep a wink because I think about decades that happened long ago. I got return tendencies at the longest Tennessee. Down this river of content is my barometer. We float the bit like we hug Finn, but I'm just a slave Jim, escaping all my demons, just a taste of freedom. Flip this camera, hating everything about the season. Watch me talk aloud to descendants just to find a reason. I'm in the hood looking for shooting stars, something gangrene, creeping down bloody boulevards. Wrap me a towel around the womb, we ain't going far. Watching while they snatch you from an enterprise rental car. Cell phone camera lights be shining on them goons in conjunction with an elder breathing stories on the moon. Oh my God, I found my purpose. Eminently is a circus. I ain't strong, but I am perfect. And my heart.
Hey,
let's pass it up to money. That's dope, y'all.
Niggas gonna either go broke or pull a hammy trying to keep up. They swear to God I'm killing times when I'm back and clean up.
I ain't strong, but I ain't perfect, but my mind in tune.
That's dope.
Right on, bro.
Nice. Go ahead, Monty.
Niggas gonna either go broke or pull a hammy trying to keep up. They swear to God I'm stealing signs when I'm back and clean up. Chasing after fame, I'm certain you'll never reach us. Stream farm bots made them think we don't need trust. But then would that leave us? Don't pull that thing out unless you plan to bang. Military grade, them boys ain't propane. Whew. Military grade, them boys ain't propane. Military grade, them boys ain't pro. Niggas either go broke or pull a hand trying to keep up. They swear to God I'm stealing signs when I'm back and clean up. Chasing after fame, I'm certain you never reach us. Stream farm bots made them think they don't need trust. But then would that leave us? Don't pull that thing out unless you plan to bang. Military grade, them boys ain't propane. That's it.
Nice. Y'all got me inspired.
Hey, TJ, what you doing now? You still on them drums?
Okay.
My next project is all African drums and string quartet, backing it up and then singing and rapping on top of that. So,
yo, you gotta let me get in on them African drums, bro.
Yo, for sure. Yeah.
Come on, cause you know I'm on that. That's all I listen to is like old African music these days.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll stay in contact. Well, you know, we've gone about 20 minutes over the usual time, but it's been beautiful, man. I've really enjoyed having you guys on here, sharing your art, sharing your wisdom, vibing with everybody. And y'all are all so uniquely talented, and like I'm just feel like I'm blessed to know all you guys, to know your work, and to consider you guys friends. So I sincerely appreciate you guys being on the show this evening.
My brother,
Appreciate
you, man. Love, bro.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet you, Manny, for real, bro.
Yeah, and congrats on the birthday, man.
Hey,
Congrats.
Tomorrow Fest, Trey, bro, like you are a Midwest legend, man, for real, bro.
Love. Hey, hit me up. Don't let this be
right, straight up, man.
Hey, we ain't gotta only talk on this. Y'all DM me, man. Get in my box. Hit me up. Let's just have conversations as men.
Yeah, straight up.
All right, I look forward to it.
TJ, thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to, end today by giving a shout out and sending some love out to DJ Indiana Jones. He was an integral part of the scene in Indianapolis. He's a part of why we're here. He's worked with me, work with everybody in the city, work with Kate, who's worked with Monty, he's touched everybody. And I was in communication with him recently about doing a piece in the Casbah, where he's held down a reggae night in Indianapolis for decades. So shout out, sending love out to Indiana Jones and his family and his people. I want to thank our guests, Che Rhymefest Kwaku, Monty Draper, and Oreo Jones and Sirius Black. Check out their work. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's music to move your ass and move your soul. I'm TJ Reynolds. This has been Cross-Pollination. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. And I thank you all for joining me. Take care and have a great night.